Have you ever watched a movie and thought, man, I wish I looked like him? What if I told you that building an aesthetic physique is easier than you think? So easy, in fact, that you can do it 100% naturally. Let's talk about it. In order to look aesthetic, you must first develop your foundation of muscle. If you just try to get lean straight away, you'll end up looking a bit skinny, something like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Now that's not necessarily a problem if that's the look you're going for. In fact, I bet that a lot of you would actually kill to wake up looking like Brad Pitt did in Fight Club. However, if you want more of a movie star, superhero, fitness model type physique, you're going to want to pack on some muscle first. So before you get lean, you're going to want to spend a period of time really packing on that size. During this period, I want you to really focus on your compound lifts, your weighted calisthenics, your shoulder press, your incline bench press. These lifts are what's really going to give you that foundational base of muscle in your upper body. I know it's a bit of a cliche to focus on your compound lifts, but you really don't have to overcomplicate things here. You don't need to go around using all these random machines and doing all these fancy cable exercises. Really focus on those big compound lifts that I mentioned, your weighted calisthenics, so your weighted dips, your weighted pull-ups. Really get strong on those. If you're just starting out, you might not even be able to do weighted dips or weighted pull-ups, so that's a goal for you right off the bat. If you think about it, weighted calisthenics plus a shoulder press really covers most of your upper body musculature. And of course, for this aesthetic movie star look, you're gonna really want to focus on those side delts, so be sure to hammer those lateral raises, get strong on them, do them for reps, and that'll really improve your shoulder to waist ratio. For the so-called aesthetic look, big arms aren't necessarily your main focus, but if you want them, obviously, go for it. You definitely don't want them to be lagging too far behind, or else you might end up kicking yourself in the future. Personally, I love training arms, and I don't think they can ever be too big to the point where they negatively affect your physique, especially if you're a natural lifter. If you care about your legs, which, let's be honest, most of you don't, it's okay, this is a safe space, you don't have to pretend like you care about your legs here. But if you do, get strong on your squat. Just doing that should be enough to keep your legs from looking like complete twigs compared to your upper body. If you're just starting out, whether you're skinny or overweight, it might take you a few years to develop this base of muscle. A lot depends on your genetics, your training, diet, etc. But as long as you're training and dieting relatively effectively, you should be able to develop a decent base within a few years of training. Now that you have a base of muscle, what's next? You have to get lean. How lean you get is ultimately up to you, but I think anything under 15% is a good look for most guys. If you have a bit more muscle, you can look slightly more aesthetic at higher body fats. Of course, at higher body fat percentages, you'll also look bigger in clothes, and since most of us don't walk around shirtless all day, that's definitely a plus. So realistically, you don't even have to get that lean. If you're in that 15 to 18% body fat range, you'll look good both with a shirt and without a shirt. And really, 15% is a body fat that you should be able to maintain year-round and still feel good while doing so. Provided you're eating relatively clean most of the time, 15% is very manageable. During the summertime, you might want to opt for a more lean look, but again, it's all personal preference. If you actually take a look at some of these movie star physiques, you'll find that they aren't actually crazy shredded like a lot of the guys you see on social media. Daniel Craig in Casino Royale is the perfect example of a lean beach body. He's not crazy shredded or super bulked up, probably right around that 15% mark I mentioned earlier. Compare his physique to someone like David Lade, and you'll see a massive difference in the level of leanness. Personally, I think that 15% zone is the sweet spot for most guys. It's not too hard to get to and maintain. You still fill out your shirts pretty well while looking lean and aesthetic without a shirt. And the beauty of cutting is that you can stop anytime you want. So if you get to around 18% and find that you feel good and look good, then go ahead and stop. If you get to 15% and think about pushing it even more, go ahead, see what happens. Maybe you'll end up finding that 12% is manageable for you. But I will say you shouldn't starve yourself or let dieting take over your life, especially if you're not actually trying to be a bodybuilder. If you just want to look good, things should really never get that difficult. Alright, so you've built your muscle, you've got to your desired level of leanness. What now? Well, maintaining your new physique is always an option. Frankly, it's also the easiest option. You simply keep up with your training while eating at maintenance calories. Really, no strict diet is needed at this point because you can always start a little cut if you see your body fat trending upwards. If you do want to add some more muscle to your frame, you can always opt for a lean bulk, so track your calories and make sure you're in a slight surplus. If you want to get a little bit leaner, you just do the same thing except make sure you're eating in a deficit. On that note, I'll leave you with this. Fitness is really only as complicated as you make it. 99% of you don't plan on competing as bodybuilders anytime soon. As such, you don't need to be so meticulous about everything fitness related. You don't need to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice 5 times a day to look good. You don't need 6 2-hour training sessions a week to look good. If you just want that aesthetic movie star physique, train hard, build your base of muscle, and then get lean. It's really that simple.